Bad Guys, Government Lies, and Muslim Spies. That's the name of our investigative micro-series where we produce each week a short video. Our show series is entitled The Wizard of K Street, and the episode today is entitled K Street Capitalism, Chi-Com Style. Hi, I'm Tom Trento with the United West team, and last week in episode 1, we introduced the Wizard of K Street himself, Grover Norquist, boy nerd turned wunderboy Washington lobbyist. Our metaphorical use of the Wizard of Oz, folks, is on point because just like that wizard, just like him, Grover hides behind a curtain, manipulates Washington politicians, accumulates personal wealth, fame, and power, all in order to transform America into a borderless country that's part of a larger global community. Our thesis for this investigative series is that Grover is not the super conservative that he presents himself to be, but indeed Grover Norquist is an ideological enemy of the state. As you will see through our exposition of the evidence, America is worse off because of Grover's 30-year influence. And you have been impacted personally by Grover's political ambition and political activism. To understand exactly how Grover has reached out and touched you, let's take a trip down memory lane. The 90s, the 1990s, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, a Pacific Ocean tropical paradise. In fact, Guinness states that the islands have the world's record for the most consistent temperature, 80.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a perfect place to walk the beaches, to scuba dive, to play tennis, to play golf, and an absolutely perfect place to run a Chinese sweatshop for the U.S. garment industry that makes millions and millions of dollars. You see, the Marianas are a U.S. Commonwealth, and back in the 90s, they were loosely bound by U.S. immigration laws, which were designed to protect the U.S. workers from a flood of cheap foreign labor, which would drive down wages and drive down available jobs. Second, Marianas were also loosely bound by U.S. labor laws. These laws were designed to protect workers from unscrupulous businessmen and politicians. And third, this is really crazy, if you have a product made in the Commonwealth, you can have it say, made in the USA. This means if you're a company who has a desire to have your clothing made in America, but you're not really in America, and you're a politician or a businessman in a Commonwealth, and you want to bypass U.S. immigration law to provide cheap labor for the company who wants their label to read made in the USA, then all you need, folks, is a K Street lobbyist and a bag full of money to make sure that U.S. immigration and U.S. labor laws are not followed, or at least they're circumnavigated. So who do you hire? How do you get that done? Well, it's simple. You hire the rootin' tootin' gunslinging lobbying team of Jack Abramoff and Grover Norquist. And that's exactly what happened back in the 90s. Jack and Grover lobbied aggressively in the U.S. Congress to allow unlimited guest workers into the Marianas, in effect, bypassing U.S. immigration laws. As a result, a United States Senate investigation revealed that 91% of the workforce in the Marianas became Chinese and Filipino guest workers. Further U.S. Senate testimony revealed that these workers were enslaved by their employers and forced to live behind barbed wire and squalid shacks without plumbing. But it gets worse. A Department of the Interior report found that, I quote, Chinese women were subject to forced abortions, along with women and children subject to forced prostitution in the local sex tourism industry. But of course, folks, Jack Abramoff was not aware of all of this when he arranged for an all-expense-paid trip to the Marianas for Texas legislator Tom DeLay on New Year's Eve, 1997. And Jack had no idea what was going on when he helped Representative Ralph Hall craft statements attacking the credibility of a teenage sex slave whom federal officials relocated to Hawaii and who subsequently testified to federal investigators and to Congress about the sex trade on the island. And of course, Jack had no idea when he put together staged factory inspection tours for U.S. Congress delegations, for U.S. human rights groups, and for the media. And of course, Jack's right-hand man, a 20-year friend, a business partner, Grover Norquist, had absolutely no idea, zero, that any of this was going on in the Marianas. So how much did Jack's lobbying firm charge the Marianas for the privilege of operating a U.S.-approved, made-in-the-USA Chinese sweatshop? Well, it was just a mere $6.7 million to make sure that Jack and Grover stayed focused on the money of the Marianas and not on the morality of the Marianas. Next week, episode 3. Jack goes to jail, Grover goes to the White House.